What's up, everyone, and welcome to Shared Save the Game Media's weekly gaming discussion podcast. I am your host, Kevin, and on today's episode, we are counting down our top 10 games of 2025. We each have brought a list of 10 games, not 20 games, 10 games, our favorite 10 of the year. We're going to go through them, explain why we love them so very much, and celebrate this wonderful year in gaming. Before we get to that, going to introduce my co-host hanging out with me for our final live episode of the year. Sam Heaney, how are you, my friend?
I am exhausted today.
Yeah.
Been a lot of just general holiday prep, but also really have been going hard on this Expedition 33 coverage that I've got to do. I'm very grateful. I got asked to do a number of additional things, which is like, haha, lumped with even more work. And I'm a yes man. But, I'm getting right now, I was coming in a bit hot, prepped for the recording. I was like, well, I was in a Discord call with one of the editors at IGN because we're trying to coordinate me editing two videos simultaneously that are going to go up on the channel,
Wow.
covering different elements of this update for Expedition. So I have Premiere Pro open right now. I'm 6.5 minutes into the edit for one video. Been doing a VO for that. I scripted it and all this. It's like, so there's a lot of stuff. So I'm knackered, mate. But I'm looking forward to talking about games, especially the ones that we loved. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am also feeling exhausted, mainly just because I don't know if it's more so like the holidays are so close, and it's like, I'm stuck at work though, and work is like, eh, like
Yep.
no one's really doing much, right?
Yeah.
Let's just get it over with. So I have a few more days of that. Then obviously I have 4 day, a 3 day weekend, then a 4 day weekend. Then I'm basically gone for a long time. So we're getting close, counting down the days. I got a bunch of new T-shirts. I'm wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt. All
Nice.
right, rocking that. So a lot of it was like thrifting, right? Okay, like secondhand stuff. Um, a lot of them were Destiny shirts.
Mm.
My fiance got those. She's like, "Oh, I got you a bunch of gaming and like nerd apparel shirts and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, sweet, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." And I was like, "What gaming ones?" And I was like, Destiny. I don't know where she got them. It was like 8 Destiny shirts. She thought they were all different games because they had different like images. But I was like, "Nah, it's all the same game and a game I'm not particularly that fond of." So thanks
You
for
you
trying.
never know though, because like Destiny, they put out a lot of that gear that might be worth something. You know,
I don't know about
secondhand. I know, but
yeah, I don't know, but I'm doing well. I see Nissa in the chat says Indie Game Awards are on right now. Go watch
mm,
later. Yes, I will be checking out the Indie Game Awards from our friends over at 61 Indie. Check them out, or if you're watching them and you're coming here after, I don't know how long they are, but welcome or enjoy them, join them after us. But yeah, love the stuff they do over at 61 Indie. Love their awards, love their presentations. Big fans. But we are here, Sam, for Shared Save. We are live every Thursday right here on youtube.com/save the game media. If you can't catch us live, plus every Sunday on your public free feeds. While you're over there, please drop us those 5-star reviews. It does help us in the algorithms. If you want to support us even further, get early audio access to this podcast along with exclusive bonus content like our monthly Q&A, like the ability to submit topics to this show, like our exclusive Shared Save episode that only patrons get. Head over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current supporters. So thank you to Sam Hall, Alpaca Tom, Rick Davis, Silkenit, Dave Harp, David Hotright, Lillian, Marcus O'Neill, Brendan Myers, aka The Winter Gamer, Nikolai at Night, Fabulous Brianna, Brandon, Black Wyver, and David Burdett. Thank you all for your support. And David Burdett, since you are at the Save the Game Media family plan tier on Patreon, your stuff is plugged in the description down below. Everyone go check out his articles for Gaming Trend. Does awesome work over there. I do want to give a quick shout out. I've mentioned it. This is our last live episode for 2025. Obviously, next Thursday is Christmas and then it's New Year's. So taking a bit of a break, and then I will be gone getting married. So we will return live January, where is it? January 15th. will be our first live episode back. You will have some content, especially on Patreon, to keep you held over though. You also have some public videos. I'm trying to record something, maybe get that out in in this space, but you will have at least one collaboration that Sam and I are doing. So keep an eye out for that. Yes, Kyle, t-shirts are always appreciated. Could wear those to the gym or on lazy days for sure. Absolutely. But Sam, let's get right into it. What have you been playing this week, my friend?
What have I been playing? Uh, a lot of Expedition again. It's one of those things. My time played counter, the hours are just ticking up. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I thought it was high before. It's going to be even higher now. So I've just been looping the new area, making sure I haven't missed anything, trying a few gimmicks. You know what the base game was like. There were random hidden things if you did specific stuff. So I was like, I can't miss anything. Haven't. That's all sorted. And then beyond that, have I been playing much? A little bit on the Steam Deck here and there. Nothing of note still. Uh, uh, I do want to shout out
Hmm.
um, Sectori.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So it's a twin stick shooter, newly released from a ex Housemark dev. So naturally going to speak to me. It is surprisingly addictive. I've only put a few hours into it so far, but the music is great. I think the visuals and sort of pixelation of everything and all the particles is suitably Housemarkian, if that's
Mm-hmm.
the correct term. And yeah, I can easily see myself when I have more free time losing a lot of that
Oh,
free time.
this is like a bullet hell game.
Yeah, it most certainly is.
Yeah.
So I have dipped my toes into that. I'm also like aching to get back to Skate Story and properly finish that off. But I think that's been it.
To the surprise of, what's funny is every time I'm on Steam looking at up games, Silkin it usually owns them already. The man, his library must be massive. He has played this game as well.
Famously owns all of Steam.
All of Steam, yes.
Yep.
The Steam sales mean nothing to him
Yeah.
because he has it all.
He's actually he's Gaben in disguise.
He's Gabe. Wow, that's crazy. I've been playing very little. I'm kind of in like a gaming rut, I would say, where I'm not really sure what to do. I tried out Wario World on NSO. I didn't particularly like it very much.
Mm,
Yeah, so I fell off that pretty quick. I've kind of just been jumping into like a few matches of like a rematch here and there, just because I was like, oh, I haven't played that since June. It's on PC because it's Play Anywhere. I owned it. It's it's okay. I sometimes I have fun with it. Other times I'm like, this is not enjoyable. Like playing solo queuing. So it's whatever. I'm hoping I'll get out of this rut soon. Maybe find a game. Christmas is coming next week, so hoping to get some games there. I don't know how much time I'll have to play them afterwards, but hoping to grab some of those. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. A little low key week. I'm getting ready to watch some Christmas movies. You know what I'm saying? Muppets
that's how it
Christmas.
goes sometimes.
Muppets Christmas. Hmm? Hmm?
Okay,
You a Muppets
yeah.
Christmas guy?
Um, I'm not a Muppets Christmas guy.
All right. What's your
I wouldn't
favorite
say
Christmas movie?
I that it's not in the rotation, I would say.
Ah, darn, darn.
Yeah.
I
Die Hard, of course.
Die Hard's great. Die Hard is a
Yeah.
great Christmas movie. I own two digital movies on Amazon, and it is Muppets Christmas Carol and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And
I wasn't expecting the second one.
I watch them both once a year, and then never
Okay.
again. Yes, Kyle, they did fix the lag. It is it's much better. They're in season 2 now. I don't know if the game is doing well though, because I tend to see a lot of the same names even with crossplay
Mm,
enabled. I don't know if it's
that's
just
always a
like
good
my
sign.
division or yeah, it's time I'm playing during the day. It's interesting, but I don't. It's fine. But we'll move right along through the show. We're doing our top 10 games of 2025. Sam, would you like to go first, or would I, or do you want me to go first? Or we could rock paper scissors for it.
Oh, woof, woof, woof. You're giving me, you're spoiling me for choice.
I know.
Okay, how about I close my eyes, right? Let's
Yeah.
make this a bit fun. I close
Okay.
my eyes, and you hold up either a 1 or a 2,
Okay.
right? I'll say one of those numbers. If I get it right, I take whatever that number is.
All right.
That sounds crazy complicated, but we're running with it.
Yeah, you just say a
Okay,
number.
so 1,
I am holding up a one.
then I go first.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. I need to, of course.
Well,
We have presentations.
yes, we do a presentations. While you're getting set up, we also have some community submissions. I asked everyone what
Oh,
their
yeah.
top 3 to 5 games were. So we have our Patreon supporters writing in with their list. Silkenit will kick us off, and I'll be reading these throughout the show. He says, my top 5: Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Silk Song, Dispatch, Death Stranding 2, and Roger.
Mm,
I'm not familiar with the last one. That sounds like it's probably an indie game, right? Is this one you've
it
played?
is. I did. I thoroughly enjoyed End Roger. Very, very short. Uh, I think I finished it in like an hour. Um, but like as a little narrative thing that had a few twists and turns. Really, really cool gameplay mechanics, super unique. That's definitely an indie gem for sure.
Great list. We already got a big shout for Expedition 33 for number one from someone.
Yeah.
So, all right, looks like you're ready to go. So I will let you take it away. Let me get this off the
Yes.
screen.
Okay. So we have my top 10 games of 2025. Of course, I will
Woo!
only be showing you one to begin with. But my
No,
number 10.
hold up,
Oh,
hold up.
oh,
Before you click further,
okay.
do you want to do any honorable or dishonorable mentions?
That's a good
We didn't
point.
include this in the present like the prompt. I didn't tell you
No.
about this. But we always
Um,
do it. So I want to give you the
mm,
chance.
honorable mentions. I would give maybe a slight giveaway that it's not on the list. I would give a shout out to Dispatch,
Mm, mhm.
which I enjoyed. I did consider having somewhere on the list, but just slipped out of there for me. Um, I would also, as much as I hated covering it, I would say quality wise, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers
I thought you were gonna
is
say the
good.
Outer Worlds too.
No, 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 no. That one scarred me. And then again, it underwhelmed, but I can't deny that it was fun playing it for the short amount of time. I have no interest in going back, but I would give a little bit of love to Doom because I think like
Mhm,
as much as I do think that Dark Ages is potentially the weakest Doom game,
mhm,
in my opinion, of the modern trilogy, you can't really beat Doom still for what it provides for the sort of schlocky, gory stuff. So that's probably my honorable mentions. There's probably something else that I'm missing, but it's not at the front of my mind. So who cares? Um, I
Kyle
don't think I
said
have any. I mean,
Kyle said
yeah,
you're
dishonorable mention if I want to do one. Outer Worlds too. I'm just going to say it.
Are you sure that's not your number one?
Well,
Mm.
it might be. You know, it might be.
Good call. Good call. Yo, out of pocket here with this dishonorable mention, Final Fantasy 16, just to remind everyone how bad it is. That was not even 2025.
Yeah, you know, he's trying to hurt my feelings, and it's okay. I won't let it happen. I hold it dear in my heart. My favorite Final Fantasy. Take that for what you will. Okay. Sorry,
All right,
I'm not
Sam,
sorry.
I'm giving you
Number
the
10.
floor now.
This might come as a surprise, but after thinking it over, my number 10 is Hell is Us.
Ooh, not one I expected.
Yeah, and not one I expected really either. but obviously a bulk of my playtime over the year, especially this year, has been IGN coverage. So I was sort of naturally leaning towards those games, and I was thinking, Doom, yeah, not really. Avowed, no. Outer Worlds, no. And there may well be another one on this list somewhere else. But then I was like, huh, how's us? I think that it's not the best game. It's like a 7,
Hmm.
but I think it's one of the most solid and unique and interesting and compelling 7s that I've played in the past few years. And we talk a lot about like foundational games of like
Yeah.
these are the building blocks. If you spring off of these and actually sort of capitalize on the moment that you presented for yourself, you could have something really special. And whilst I'm not necessarily expecting Hell is Us 2, whatever Nacon, I believe, is the dev,
Hmm.
whatever they do next with these mechanics, these systems, I think is like top of my anticipated list for sure.
It's so funny because I think Hell is Us is really a game like that. Every time I hear someone talk about it, it's usually in a positive light. Like it's not perfect, but it's always, it was an enjoyable experience. I don't know how well it sold, and I think a lot of that discussion comes back to, well, Silk Song got shadow dropped and really like stole its chance at success. And I don't want to say like that's unfortunate because that's like the industry. Like there's always something releasing on top of like that's competition. That's good for the marketplace. But I do kind of feel a little bad because I wonder what this game looks like in a world where that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I I I wonder that as well. But I mean, the one thing I would say, and whether that this actually manifests into anything tangible and positive for the team, um, I do think that over the years, this will become a game that is more and more fondly looked upon for sort of doing a lot of again very unique things in a very well trodden genre. So I would like to think that the way that I feel about the game, in whether it was overlooked or not, is obviously subjective depending on what you did or didn't play. But yeah, I think this will have a relatively long tail.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I would like to see what they could do taking the feedback everyone gives them with a sequel. Like maybe we see not not like I think you said not a direct sequel, but one that's clearly like molded after this game.
Yeah, spiritual successor
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. Yeah. That's my number 10.
All right, good choice. And that's you're done with the presentation.
Yeah, that was it. All done. Bye, everyone.
Interesting, interesting. I assume you accidentally closed your
I did. I
screen.
did. I did.
I was like, that's a weird bit. Hell's Us game of the year for
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. It's gone again.
while you're getting that ready, I will do another community reading from Alpaca Tom, who wrote in with his top three. He said number three, Oblivion Remastered, a game
Mm,
that I think had a lot of buzz when it dropped, but kind of fell off. Number two, Elden Ring Night Rain. And number
okay.
one, Arc Raiders,
Of
which,
course.
knowing the games that Tom likes to play, I am not surprised. He
No.
has been absolutely loving Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
All right, you're
Yeah.
back.
I'm back. Number 9. Dead Letter Department.
I saw you playing this, and I was like, "What the hell is this game?"
Yeah, I did play it a little earlier in the year, but I came back to it and basically sort of did another playthrough. It's how do I even describe it? You are going to work every day and you're sitting alone in a very dark, spooky room, and you are essentially presented a discarded, destroyed, partially mangled, whatever letter or postcard envelope, and you have to try and deduce what is written on that postcard or whatever, and then type it out so that it's legible.
Hmm.
And then you submit what you've written. And if you're correct or close enough, then you move to the next one. And the ways in which it uses that mechanic to tell somewhat of a story, not anything too major, but more specifically build atmosphere and contribute to spooks is like super cool. It's the most unnerved I've felt playing a horror game probably ever.
Wow.
Like because the Resident Evils and everything. I even playing like RE7 in VR. I was like, I don't know. I think that there is a sense of detachment there from me. Like it's another thing throwing itself at me. Okay, fine. And it might get me to go a couple of times, but outside of that, I don't feel like unsettled.
Hmm.
This is like I feel unsafe and creeped out. I don't really want to keep going, but I have to. Uh, and later in the game, without spoiling really anything, they present like time limits on days, so you have to like speed type through things, and things are going wrong and changing, and it's very, very good.
I have never heard of it before, and I have no idea what the gameplay looks like. But I trust that may be a trend with some of your games on this list, since you do love the I don't want to say obscure, but the unique indie games.
I do. I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 8 is Peak.
Wow! Hey, a game we
Yeah.
played together.
Yeah, it nearly didn't make the list, but when I was thinking about like the fun that I've had, and for similar to like Helldivers in previous years, it's sort of like I'm not a multiplayer guy. I don't really gravitate to any of them, but for any multiplayer game to leave a lasting impression on me, or for me to want to go back for multiple sessions, is a real sort of commendation in my book. So I went very, very hard on Peak for a couple of months there and had a great time. Haven't gone back since, but if the call ever came from you or Bree or Taylor or whoever to jump back in for another go, I would absolutely be there in a heartbeat. If Peak is just a pretty great time.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I see Nissa in the chat says I just got Peak. Yes, Peak is an absolute blast. I've played it both ways. People in a Discord call and us, obviously we use the voice chat, and I prefer it with the voice chat
Yeah,
feature. I think that adds a lot of like the comedy aspect to the game, not being able to like, oh, where they go, and just hearing them off in the
distant
distance. Yeah,
screams
yeah.
and
Just I think there's so much fun to be had with Peak. Just like the situations you can find yourself in. It's a very simple game at its core, but man, I don't think I've laughed. You and me, you made me laugh so hard in that game, and no one
mhm.
will ever know. No one will
Yep.
ever know.
That's just for us, just for us.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I had to give it some love. I do hope that, they continue pouring content into it, because if they do, I think it will reach a threshold where, I know that they've done a few new biomes, I think, since I bounced out, but
Hmm.
if they keep adding stuff in, they will reach a threshold where I'm like, I kinda have to go back and see what the new stuff is like, so fingers crossed there. Number 7, Lumines Arise.
Oh, I could not have predicted your top 10 so far.
Yeah, um, I mean, I have waxed lyrical several times saying, like, Tetris Effect is a transcendent game to me, as corny or cliché or cheesy as that sounds, like, it's true. I think it's one of the most magical gaming experiences I've ever had, and that's coming from a guy who doesn't like Tetris. And Lumina's Arise, I don't think, as I've said before, hits the highs of Tetris Effect for me, but there's no denying that Enhance, and I'm a big Enhance fan, you know, Humanity and everything else that they've done recently, they just know how to uh, combine music and visuals with ultimately quite rudimentary basic gameplay to just put you in a flow state where,
Hmm.
like, I'm terrible at Luminous, I'm terrible at Tetris, but I just there's something that happens in my brain, especially playing it in VR, of course, but I'm sure it's great as a flat screen experience, where I just start figuring out that I can do things relatively competently, and I don't even know what I'm doing sometimes. I'm just pressing buttons, just sort of almost subconsciously. It's very strange, and there's not many games that can make me feel like it. So, Luna's Arise.
Yeah, this is a game that I will want to check out when it eventually comes to like PlayStation Plus or something.
Yeah,
Just because I did really like Tetris Effect Connected, just getting into that flow state with the music, headphones on, just like chilling out. Like it's a very non-stressful game in some aspects, but like
yeah.
it just gets you in the feelings. So yeah, this is one that's on my list to eventually check out for sure.
Number 6, Blueprints.
Yeah, there we go. One I expected.
Yeah, Sam Hall, don't hate me. I know this is probably way up for you. I know it's way up for many people that I speak to. I love Blueprints. I've obviously by no means 100%ed it, but I bought myself a physical copy so that I truly adore the game. I think it's incredibly unique, incredibly compelling, super interesting spin on like roguelite, if you will. I think the gameplay mechanics and then the layers of the game are really, really cool. And there's I like games that when there's no other game like it, and there is no other game like Blueprints. So it was going to be on my list.
For sure. And this is one I think that probably deserves more recognition than it's gotten in terms of industry awards, just because I feel it did come out and capture people. It's certainly a unique game. I tried it. I'm way too dumb to play this game. Like I understand why people have notebooks full of like
Oh yes,
information to like decode and like figure this game out. That's not my style of game, but I totally get why this one captured people. The review scores, like it's a very well made and interesting game if you're into these puzzlers. I do want to bring in Sam Hall here, who wrote in for our community submissions. He says my number one and two, depending on the day, Claire Obscure slash Blueprints. So Blueprints is right up there, tied for his game of the year. Number three, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Number four, Dispatch. Number five, Donkey Kong Bonanza. So thank you to
mm,
Sam for writing in. We'll now continue the rest of your list, Sam.
number 5, Sword of the Sea.
Okay.
Again, a game that was almost certainly going to be on my list, and here it is. Um, I am a massive fan of Giant Squid. I love essentially every game they've ever made, and I think that Sword of the Sea might not be my favorite. I still might give that to Pathless, but Sword of the Sea, another banger, Austin Wintory OST. Visuals are fantastic. You know, take it or leave it, but the haptics feel great in the controller on this game, and it's another short but sweet experience. Doesn't overstay its welcome. Plenty of like diversity and environment. So yeah, I couldn't really be happier with this.
Yeah, this is one I haven't checked out, but again, heard nothing but good things. Nista says, Love Sword of the Sea, just started it.
Yeah, I'm so jealous to for you to be experiencing it for the first time again. It is a similar, I guess, in some ways to like a Tetris Effect type game where they're just sort of zen, you know? Like there's no combat, there's no time limit, there's no even real objective other than to just keep moving forward. Um, and they aren't bogged down by side quests. There's like a little few collectibles if you want to grab them, but they're by no means obligatory. It's just a very down to basics good time.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's my type of game. I love the art style. I'm always here for the this is the Pathless developers, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm always down for their art style. It's just their games aren't for me. But
That's fair.
yeah.
Number 4. This is where we start getting just a little spicy. Ghost of Yote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I expected
Again,
it.
expected on the list. I've said to you before, but I'll reiterate that it gave me everything I wanted. I think it's a fantastic game. I do think it's better than Ghost of Tsushima, uh, but it didn't really light my world on fire. And I wasn't necessarily expecting it to, because I think that Tsushima was already truly excellent. So I was like, if it can just match that, then I'll be happy. And it did, and I'm happy. But there is like that lingering thing of, oh, but if you found some way to like knock
Mm-hmm.
my socks off, that would have been just incredible. So it would have maybe been a spot or two higher if it had achieved that. But there were a few other games that just managed to outclass it this year. But another legendary output from Sucker Punch.
Yeah, Ghost of Yote is one I feel bad about because obviously it's been caught up in a lot of nonsense across social media. But like, if you remove all that, right, it by and large is nothing but praise for the game. People can feel it's a safe sequel, whatever,
Sure.
whatever, But that's kind of what PlayStation has been for this generation. I don't mean that disrespectfully. Ragnarok, Ghost of Yote Falls, Horizon is another one. Like it's more of what you liked and you're gonna like it still. It's not
Yep.
reinventing anything. I know I know my one friend was playing this. I don't know if he ever beat it though, and he loved Tsushima. So yeah, I'm not sure how people feel. I'm sure there are people that like Tsushima more than Yote, but
Oh, yeah.
I certainly know people that like the opposite as well. So yeah, not my type of game. Sucker Punch obviously going through some transition that what their CEO just stepped down.
Mhm. The
Yeah, so
co-founder, yeah.
co-founder. So we'll see what their next game. Like I'm really interested to see where they go from here. Like, is
As am
this the
I.
last in the Ghost series, or well, obviously we have Legends coming next year, but like, is this the last Ghost of game? I doubt it
Yeah, me too.
personally, but like maybe take a break, do something
Yeah,
else.
I think we're aligned there where I would expect. I don't think that because Ghost is an anthology series now, I think it can go beyond a trilogy.
Hmm.
Um, but I would imagine that because of that, and there's no, like, continual story that they feel compelled to wrap up, they can kinda just go back to Ghost whenever they feel like it, and by that nature, I think we are both of the mind that their next game is probably gonna be something else, whether that's going back to Infamous or Sly or something new. I think that that is ideal, so we'll see.
Yeah, beautiful game. Builds on an already great game.
Number 3. It
Where's number three?
Skate Story.
Okay, I was like,
I panicked for a second there. I was like, "I didn't delete that picture." Yeah, late entry for me and a
yeah,
surprise.
really high.
Yeah, yeah. So, I guess maybe I'm coming in hot on it, but I don't think I am, because I did think about this, especially in relation to things like Yote of like, do
Hmm.
I would I put and I do think that Skate Story for me, not only because it was a surprise, like I'd followed it for so long because again of the band that I was a big fan of. So it's like I'm always gonna play it, but for me to follow it tangentially, not really keep up with it, but keep tabs and then play it. Haven't finished it, but I'm so deep now, and it's again, I guess, a recurring theme this year of games that just sort of put you in zen flow states, a combination of game feel and music and visuals and presentation. I think like we had master classes, several in that field this year, and this is another one of them. I highly encourage people, even if you aren't a fan of skating, because I'm not, to give this game a go eventually. Because again, I don't want to sound rote or repetitive, but there isn't much like this because it's not a skate, or a
Hmm.
Tony Hawk. It's not. It presents a very different take on skateboarding, and how you approach doing tricks and things like that. So love it.
I see Nissa says she just picked this one up as well. So rattling off games for for her to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one I have interest in. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing Matt Sawinski over at Console Creatures.
Hmm.
I know he's been raving about this one as well. So, again, I'm not a skateboard person, but like it looks up my alley. It's just I need to be in the right mindset, and I certainly haven't been this week to jump into it because I thought about going on PS Plus. I was like, there are things on there I could jump into, but I want to give this game the proper respect when and if I jump into it.
Sure. Just when you do, make sure you got those headphones on and the volume
Oh,
up.
always, always. I always have headphones on. I don't.
Good.
I had this conversation with people earlier this week where they were telling me they don't play games with headphones on. I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on here?
Destroying your own experience. Why
TV
you?
speakers.
Yeah. Christ. God forbid. Okay, here we go, ladies and gents. The real
Yeah, yeah.
spicy
Don't
stuff.
don't hurt me, Sam.
What's it going to be? Number two
Uh,
is Claire Obscure
ah,
Expedition 33.
I knew it. I knew it.
Now, that kind of reveals what number one is, but I would
Certainly
say,
for me, if people have been paying attention, but
yeah, I would say that I could be convinced to put Claire Obscure as number one. I remember coming on X Talk when just before the game had released or when the reviews had dropped or
hmm.
something, and I was kind of saying I don't want to oversell it, but this feels like a generational kind of thing. Like everybody in the like IGN Discord playing it prior to release. We had it multiple weeks prior to release, playing through it, and we were all sort of messaging each other, going, um, "Is this game like fucking incredible, or is it just me?"
Yeah.
And we all came to that consensus, and then obviously it came out, and the reviews speak for themselves, and Game of the Year and all of that. Again, things that I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of turn-based games or
Hmm.
or really like JRPG type games. And yeah, we talked about it at length, right? But like you know that this game has captured so many of people in that Venn diagram that wouldn't be interested otherwise. I think it is just a masterpiece on essentially every level. And it for it to be a first game from this team is astounding. And I know that, glazing it on the internet seems to have gotten old and people don't
Hmm.
like that anymore. But, when a game is worthy of praise, it's worthy of praise. And I think that this is a game worthy of praise more so than most.
I will I will
Bite your
save
tongue.
my yeah, I will save my thoughts.
Uh, Kyle, you're damn right. Outer Worlds 2, number one, baby. No, of course, number one by process of
Is
elimination is
not loading.
we've got a spiritual ghostly baby here.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up.
There
Death
we
Stranding
go.
2 on the beach. There we
There we
go.
go.
Which I kind of anticipated going into this year. I was like, if it it was almost an inverse of Ghost of Yote, where Ghost of Yote, I was like, they'll deliver Tsushima again and I'll be happy.
Hmm.
And they did. And, speaking of like Luminous Arise and Tetris Effect as being like transcendent games that sort of gave me an experience unlike anything else, made me feel things I never felt. The first Death Stranding did that to me, and I've been a staunch defender and advocate of that game since it launched. And I was like very skeptical. I knew that it was my most anticipated of the year. I couldn't wait. But I was like, I st even with that, I don't think that they're gonna make me feel the same things. Like, I don't think that they can catch lightning in a bottle twice, and somehow they did. And I think that that, to me, subjectively, is the most magical thing that happened this year, where, Death Stranding 2, I think, similar to Yote in a way, is a somewhat safe sequel, but it is a refinement, and much like, in my opinion, Yote is refining on the excellence, near flawlessness of Tsushima. I think that Death Stranding 2 does the same for the first Death Stranding, but with the massive increase in visual fidelity, with, in my opinion, the far superior soundtrack. I really liked the story. I have a few nitpicks here and there in terms of like world design and what that does or doesn't let you do in terms of like abusing vehicles and things like I get that, but they managed to make me feel the same things cresting over a hill that I just lugged like 50 tons of luggage up. And just as I do that, see the moon that's blossomed like 50 times in size, and the needle drops on a perfect song, and it feels scripted and cinematic, but I'm playing it. It's just happening, like just transcendental little moments that might not have happened. I could have been walking a different way or taking a different route, or it's just so special to me. Um, and the idea that we might not get a Death Stranding 3 actively hurts my soul.
Another one where I've heard nothing but praise. People have reiterated exactly what you're saying. You know, improves in every which way upon the first game, the director's cut. Kojima at his best, whatever that means to you as an individual. I do wonder if this is the last Death Stranding, just because like I feel like it kind of came and went. And
Mm,
I don't know if that's fair to say. Like maybe I'm in the wrong circles, but like I don't feel like it's really had the same buzz throughout the year. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it in their game of the year conversation. I don't know. I forget how well it sold. Do we have numbers on Death Stranding 2?
I don't remember seeing anything
It's coming to PC soon, though. We suspect, right? Because it got like rated for
rated, or
PC.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder probably a little while longer for Xbox to hit that if they're going to do it at all for this one. But yeah, I wonder if PC will kind of breathe life into it. Maybe they do like an update, like additional content, try to get it
Mm.
back into the zeitgeist. Because I do feel like just based on what you and other people have said, like a game almost kind of deserves a little more recognition.
Yeah, but again, like, I think you could quantify that to like dozens of games this year,
That's true.
where it's just been such a competitive year, and there have been so many, like, depending on your taste, all-timers, like, across multiple genres, that it's, like, almost impossible to keep track of. So, I would agree that Death Stranding 2 got overlooked, and, got nominated for Game of the Year and things like that, which is great, didn't win anything. But, yeah, I do wonder how successful it actively was. Kojima said he's not gonna make Death Stranding 3. He has an idea for it,
Mm,
but if it was to be made, he would hand it off to someone else at Kojima Productions, which, doesn't necessarily preclude it from happening, but I think it
yeah.
does decrease the likelihood, especially considering we haven't really seen any sales data for Death Stranding that would suggest it's done excellently, but I don't know what their expectations were, so
Well, the first one was a slow burn too, though.
it certainly was.
Yeah, that game didn't really hit. I think what's that like 7 million now, but that took years, I think, to get to that point. So
Yeah.
yeah, congratulations, Death Stranding 2, Sam's Game of the Year for Save the Game Media. Congratulations, prestigious award. Um, Before we get to mine, we will do our last two community submissions. David Burdett from Gaming Trend writes in and says, my top three Number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
Mm,
Number 2, he loves Call of Duty.
of
Everyone like
course.
he's a huge Call of Duty guy. Um, 2, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And number 1, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2,
Nice.
a game that you and I have not played.
I
It's
admire from afar.
that's exactly how I feel. It's way too hardcore for me, I
Yep.
think. And then Black Wyver wrote in with their top 3 games, not in any order. They say Expedition 33, Split Fiction, and Astrobot. They played Astrobot for the first time this year. Honorable mention Cocoon, most disappointing game, Hellblade 1.
Oh,
Definitely not coming back for part 2.
interesting.
Yeah, I remember discussing that with them. Just didn't vibe with them. Not their type of game, and
Fair enough.
hurts me physically, but it's okay.
I'm with you. I love Hellblade 1.
Yeah. Uh, that is all of our community submissions. Thank you guys so much for writing in, recognizing your favorite games of the year. Now we will get to my presentation. So let me get that set up here. Share my screen. Right. I made a PowerPoint, everyone. Let's do this. Kevin's top 10 games of 2025.
Here we go.
And we're going to start off with number 10. Oh, wait. Damn it. Okay, I'll do my honorable mention after this. I forgot.
Okay.
Number 10. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Mm,
Um, Obviously everyone knows I'm a big Yakuza Like a Dragon fan. I do prefer the Like a Dragon moniker where it's Ichiban and the turn-based combat. This is going back to a more action-oriented style. Um, and I think I almost appreciate this game more after playing Yakuza 0, Kiwami 2, just because I know Majima. He's in the
mm,
other ones, but this is really like his game, and you become so much more familiar with him if you are there from the start of the series, where you play as him in 0 for most of the game. Like that's really his game to shine. You get to know him as a person. But this game says, hey, what if we took all the silliness that everyone loves from the side stories of Yakuza and we make that the main portion of the game? So
mm,
he loses his memory, he becomes a pirate, and then it's absolute nonsense from there. Pirates are just roaming the seas of Hawaii. You get into full on like ship battles, and then you board ships, and you have swashbuckling brawls. You get this one picture here showing it. You get mystical items that can summon like sea creatures into combat for you. It's absolute nonsense when you think like, hey, this is supposed to be like street fights, and then they're summoning giant sharks to eat their enemies. But behind all this nonsense, there is actually a touching story about like relationship between father and daughter and like his family stepping up as a family man. Like there is the classic Yakuza touching moments in here. This game did surprise me more than I expected it to. Like I thought it would just be a silly little romp. But I had a great time. I One of the only games I 100%ed this year, so really,
oh.
really, really loved it.
I must admit, considering the year we've had, this is one of the games I actually kind of just forgot came out. You know, not that it's one that I would ever have been sort of hotly anticipating, but because this was early, right? I think this was
Yes,
first
this
couple of
came out
months of
in
the year.
February, I believe. I
Yeah.
actually had to, because I was looking through my list, making my top 10 of like what I beat this year, and I was like, did this come out last year and I just played it this year?
Mm,
No, it came out this year, and I just totally forgot about it until I looked through my list. And when I was making my top 10, I was like, I think this has to be on there.
time is a flat circle. That's awesome, man. I mean, do you think like I'm out of the loop of
Mhm.
what Yakuza games are coming and aren't coming. I assume, considering Like a Dragon's seeming popularity, there's going to be more of these kind of games.
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
what? It's interesting because what they're doing with the Yakuza Like a Dragon, whatever you want to call it these days, is seemingly they're on a rotation of remake, new entry, spin-off, remake, so forth, so on.
Mm,
Because we got Infinite Wealth, then we got this. Now we're getting Kiwami 3. Then I expect we get the next Like a Dragon mainline Ichiban game, which will be
right.
turn-based. But then they've introduced these kind of spin-off, the Gaiden game that came out. They did a remake of Ishin. So like they're on a very interesting path where some people might say too much Yakuza. All right. And I can certainly understand why they say that. But I think if you're here as a fan, a longtime fan, or a newer fan like me, where I got into this series at the start of the Xbox Series X generation because we didn't have any launch titles. And I was like,
Mm,
what's a new game? And that was like an Xbox Series X exclusive at that time. The next gen version was just made me fall in love with it. And I've continued playing ever since. And I will continue playing.
nice.
Before we go any further, I do got to get my honorable and dishonorable mentions. Everyone, I'm sorry. Um, so let me just look at my list here. My honorable mentions. I'm gonna go with the two.
Hirogami.
uh, the two Tales games, like Tales of Grace's F remastered and Tales of Exilia remastered, both honorable mentions. Didn't put them on here because they're remasters, even though I loved both of them.
Sure.
I will put Donkey Kong Country Returns HD in an honorable mention because I love
Mm,
Donkey Kong, but again, almost a port of that game. Like very little was done to it. And that game actually came out this year. Everybody forgot. It came out in January. Um, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
okay.
That has to be a shout out. Absolutely loved it. Got me so hyped for Ninja Gaiden this year. Made me finally go and play 3 after never playing it because I've heard it was so bad. Um Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate, a game probably no one has ever heard of except it's this is a side-scrolling beat 'em up anime style.
Okay.
So just think Marvel Cosmic Invasion, but you're playing as like anime
Mm,
fighting game characters. Um, I platinumed it, probably one of my only platinums this year. Really enjoyed it. It's multiplayer. It's I just I feel like I feel like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the Dotemu has really reinvigorated my enjoyment of these beat 'em up style games. So,
nice.
um, let's see any other ones. You already did Doom. TMNT Tactical Takedown. I'm wearing a TMNT shirt. Gonna give a
Oh,
shout out to that
okay.
one. I did 100% this one as well. It's a tactics game where you plays the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think it came to console. I played it on Steam. Was given a code for it, but absolutely loved my time with that one.
Are they still doing that Last Ronin game?
I think it's in trouble or it might have got
Uh,
canceled. I can't remember. I think the movie might have got canceled and the game is in trouble.
bummer.
The last honorable mention I will give is to Keeper, a game that took me by surprise. Obviously, we've talked at length about it, Sam. I'm much higher on it for you than you are. I don't feel it overstayed. It's welcome. It was a nice, short, fun experience that just the puzzles were simple enough, but I loved the world I was in, like the little gameplay twists, I will say, like the how they change it up kept me engaged. So yeah, I will give them an honorable shout out to Keeper as well.
God bless Double Fine.
My dishonorable mentions, and I have a few.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, I'm going to put Unbeatable on there.
Oh, damn.
The game, my review is actually done quite well. So thank you to everyone checking that out on the channel. Yeah, a game I just got a review up for. Just didn't click with me. Just too much. Need more time in the oven. Don't think it really nailed the rhythm aspects. Certainly didn't nail the storytelling aspects. So really disappointing because I love the music and the art of that game.
Yeah.
Sonic Rumble, an absolute joke of a game, pathetic. I can't believe this game has like 10 million plus. I assume mostly mobile players, but I love Fall Guys. I love Sonic. This should have been a slam dunk. It's garbage, unfortunately.
Damn.
I know there was at least one other one. Oh, Hirogami. Hirogami's on there. Yeah. A game I did go back and beat because they did update and remove the stupid level gating requirement that I mentioned to them. So thank you for listening to feedback. You didn't really improve the game all that much. It's still slow, still clunky, still combat doesn't feel good. Just very disappointing for what looked a promising 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Roughing the Riverside. I don't know if it deserves a dishonorable mention. Oh, Sam, I'm surprised you didn't bring this one up. And maybe I'm being too harsh on it. FBC Firebreak.
I
We had fun together,
that's
so
a
I that's
thing.
that's why I'm like I don't know if should I say it's dishonorable because you and I like I don't know if I enjoyed just the experience of us playing it together, but the game is meh.
Yeah. I did consider it, but I was like, I felt I had probably just enough fun, even in the brief time that we played it, where I couldn't feasibly put it on the list, but it might deserve to be there. So it's tough.
Totally fair. Those are my dishonorable mentions, everyone. Let's get back to my list.
Do it.
Coming in at number 9, Haste.
Nice.
Uh, a game that I played fully co-op with my brother Kyle. A game that I did not expect to even play this year. I didn't even know what it was until he brought it to my attention. This is a co-op speed running platformer where it's like an auto runner, but you have to like nail your dips at the right time to hit the ground at the exact angle to keep your speed, kind of racing your co-op partner, a little competition going on. Cute, beautiful art style, as you see in the one picture I got here. Fun boss battles, not too difficult. Interesting upgrade system, a lot of replayability. I really had a great time playing Haste.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you started talking about it, I was looking into it, and it is, I must say, compelling.
It's
I
great.
don't know if I will ever get around to playing it. I'd like to think that I will, but because is it something that you can play solo if you wanted to, or
Yes,
do
you
you?
can play
Okay, you
solo.
can.
Yes, the co-op was an update they did. So originally it was a solo game.
Interesting. Okay, well that probably does cement it then a bit higher on the backlog than it might otherwise be. Because I think, like, again, talking about like Pathless and sort of the sea games where like the feel of movement is right.
Mm.
I think that is something that really scratches an itch for me. So, and this seems to be one of those. So,
Yes, it feels so good to play, especially I don't know if it's on console, but I was playing at 240 frames a second, so
damn.
it's very smooth, very well optimized. Like it runs very well. There's certain bosses where it becomes almost like a bullet hell, so you have like this got to
Well, now you're
navigate
speaking my
laser.
language.
You're like dodging lasers while you're flying through the air, and like you got to get on the ground. It's just really awesome. It's one of those games that takes you by surprise, not because like, oh my god, it's such a deep storytelling, but this is like gameplay mechanics win all day 101.
You've made me far more excited, Kev. You've done it. You've convinced me.
All right, I'm glad to hear it. Might be on sale. Steam sales going on.
Oh,
Number 8, Yuka Replay, a game I platinumed, a game where I was pretty not in love with the original ukulele. I thought
yeah.
it was a pretty mediocre attempt to make a Banjo Kazooie game, a game that did that I was disappointed with. Because I obviously I love Banjo. I wore Banjo's outfit the entire time I played Ukulele. Um, that is my picture right there. I
Manifesting.
took that. Yes. Um, again, I think they absolutely nailed this remake. They set out to make this a more modern 3D platformer where they took inspiration from things like Mario Odyssey, where it keeps a lot of the Banjo Kazooie DNA, things you love about it, like collecting they called pages here, but like collecting those, doing little tasks for people around the environments. But they've improved it in the sense where you have your abilities from the start. You don't have to have a frustrating experience like in the original, I don't know if anyone's played it or you remember this, but like you had to expand the worlds, so you had to
Mm,
constantly like leave the books, go somewhere else, come back. It was not very streamlined. It could be frustrating, especially if you didn't get the abilities at the right time. This solves all those problems. It introduces just better feeling movement, better feeling combat, better feeling platforming, and they have fun little mini games like Retro's Arcade in there, which I actually had a blast playing all those. So I love You Can Replay Lee. I have hopefully not the last we see of these two. Um, they kind of tease something at the end that hopefully they don't go that
mm,
direction personally, but we'll see. I'm here to support Platonic.
yeah, it is one that I will get around to eventually. Because again, it's based on what you've said and what I've heard, it is like the version that we should have got to begin with, or that we were hoping it would be to begin with, I guess I should say. So again, as another fan, as a fan myself of sort of collectathon and platformers, yep.
Yeah, it's a blast. You will undoubtedly love it when you get to it. And the fact that I know some people might not be happy with this, but like if you own the original, you did get a discount on the game. I do think that was a smart move on their part. Except there was some weird requirement for the Switch version. I can't remember. I think it was only
Mm,
US Switch users got that. So weird on their part to do that, but it is what it is. I played on PlayStation. Number 7, Ninja Gaiden 4.
wow.
Another game I know you are not as high on as I am. Um, I could have put Ninja Gaiden 2 or Ninja Gaiden 2 Black on here instead
Mm,
of Ninja Gaiden 4. It was a debate in my mind. I went with Ninja Gaiden 4 because it was a new entry instead of a remaster. I had a blast with Ninja Gaiden 4. I think the game might be the most well optimized game I've ever played on PC.
mm.
It runs so well, looks so beautiful. I know people can disagree with that if they want, but like I thought it was stunning on my PC. Um, Interesting boss fights. Not I don't want to say not overly like the right amount of challenge for a Ninja Gaiden game because there are certain bosses, especially when you go through the series, that are like I'm gonna throw something at the wall. I thought this game managed those difficulty spikes very well. Yakumo, I you can love him or hate him. He's definitely an edge lord. He's not my favorite. I would like to see more Ryu going forward, and Yakumo kind of become a background character. But I think this is everything good about Platinum games. What they do well, action
Sure,
gameplay,
yeah.
like the story is it's a Ninja Gaiden game. I'm not here for the story. I've never been in these games for the story. It's mostly ninja gibberish going on, but the actual gameplay, what you're doing here, was phenomenal from start to finish. I had a blast playing this. Couldn't put it down.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I wasn't as high on it as you, but I did. It was a good time. Like I there's no denying that. I think in terms of character action games, it did not only, like you say, sort of exemplify a lot of what they're great at, but sort of reinstilled some of the faith that they are still good at it.
Hmm.
Because Platinum have sort of slipped here and there recently. So it's good to see that obviously in a sort of joint co-dev thing going on, they managed to pull it off, even if many aspects of the game didn't work for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I think for Ninja Gaiden fans, where especially of the 3D, well, I guess in the general, because we got Rage Bound this year as well.
Mm,
I'm not a big 2D Ninja Gaiden fan, but like I certainly thought the 3D games were dead. Like I did not expect to get additional games in the
yeah.
series because it's been so long, and now I have renewed faith that like maybe we see a Ninja Gaiden 5.
Eh?
Number 6, Paper Clay.
Huh?
This game is phenomenal. I have waxed poetic about it all year. I've talked it up on social media. Sam, you act confused as if I've never mentioned this game to you before. This is a game. Actually, I don't know. We weren't doing shared save when this came out because this is a game I played when my grandma passed away, and I was obsessed with it. I 100%ed it. This is a 3D platformer made by Kevin Anderson, I believe his name is. I follow him on social media. Um, Pretty sure
Mm.
he's a solo dev. Maybe he works with some other people, but like you have a game inspired by 3D platformers like Sly Cooper, like Banjo Kazooie. Grant Kirkhope does
Yeah, I just saw in the
yeah,
trailer.
he does the main theme for this. I believe they have the voice actor of Sly Cooper doing the
I just
voice.
saw that as well.
Yes. So this game really spoke to me on a
Huh.
personal level. I think it was only like $14 when I got it. I
Yeah, it
think it's
is.
25% off right now. So beautiful paper mache crafted worlds. You have your what I love in 3D platformers is unique move sets that you can combine to kind of break or like get places you're not supposed to go.
Hmm.
Or like that's what I found. Like because he can fly a little bit, he has jumps. So like you can combine those things and get to areas to collect things probably earlier than maybe you should. But this is a classic 3D platformer at its heart, and I just absolutely fell in love with the visuals. It has very difficult challenge levels at the end, by the way. Like most of the game is pretty easy. Some things are hard, but there are like I think 4 challenge levels at the end, brutally difficult. And you have to beat those to get the 100%, which I did. But yes, really love this game. Highly recommend it to everyone that enjoys 3D platformers.
Well, you've just brought the game to my attention. I have never heard of this before,
Oh,
but it's being wish listed as we speak.
yes. I you would probably like this. Not only because it has the voice of Sly Cooper in it, but it's just a great game.
Yeah, it's very tearaway coded by the looks of
Yes.
things. So
Yes, I think what Hirogami let me down, this game
sure.
did not.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's my number 6. Everyone go check out Paperclay if you haven't. Number 5, Shinobi: Art of Vengeance.
Expected it somewhere.
Yeah, if you've listened to the podcast, you would know a game that took me by surprise, a game that I picked up after hearing the reviews, the hype. Shout out Lord Cognito. I know a friend of the
Mm,
show, been on our podcast, been on Iron. I've been on Iron Lords a few times, but he's really the main person that's always been hyping up Shinobi to me. But when those reviews came out, they were so glowing, so positive. Um, I had to check it out. I got it on Fanatical, and I fell in love with this game. It is phenomenal. In terms of a side-scrolling action game, it does everything right. The combat feels fluid. There's intricate combos you can learn to string moves together. You have these ultimate finishing moves, setups you can do with your kunai knives, ninjutsu that you can use on certain enemies, challenging but fair boss fights, kind of in the vein of a Ninja Gaiden 2D game, but I think it's nowhere near that difficult of a game. But I think what's so interesting about this is that like it's not just one big area. There are multiple levels, and each level is essentially its own mini Metroidvania, which I think really adds uniqueness to the game as replayability because you can't do everything in one sitting. You have to go back and do levels, which I've gone back and 100% at a few of them. Like there's collectibles to find, there's challenge rooms to do. It's just a fantastic game that I think stunning artwork. Like I think this, for me personally, this is the better looking game between Ninja Gaiden and Ragebound. I love this art style so much.
mm. Yeah, it's one of the games this year that just completely slipped me by. Obviously I caught up on all of the reviews and you hyping it up and things. So I hope again that I find the time at some point to get around to it. If it's on heavy discount or if it happens to go into PlayStation Plus
Mhm.
1 month over the next year or two. Optimistically, I would love that to give me a proper excuse to just say screw it and dive in because everything I've seen looks fantastic.
Yeah, this is certainly one if you love 2D action games, Metroidvanias, like I highly recommend. It does have, I see Nissa saying, I know I'll die a lot. It's not brutally difficult and it does have accessibility options. I believe it has an easy mode. I
Mm,
think it has a one hit kill mode. Like they, they want you to be able to enjoy this game and play the way you want to play. So there's certainly those things there to help you. But movement, combat, I can't speak highly enough about Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I really hope this isn't the last we see of the series because like I'm in now. Like give me another one. I will be there.
awesome.
Number 4, Trails in the Sky first chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people knew it was coming. A
Yeah.
remake of Trails in the Sky 1, and I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Obviously, this is one of the highest rated games of the year. One of the games that I would say was snubbed at the Game Awards, especially the RPG category, because we need to redo that whole category. But they took what I loved from that game, where it's a fantastic story, but it's certainly dated. Like you have the 2D pixel art. You have slower combat, even with like high speed mode and they're PSP games, all right. Like there
Yeah.
were a lot of quality of life features that aren't present in the original that they have brought and made a modern JRPG here. Not only have they updated to full 3D and the character models look beautiful, they've changed the entire Trails art style here to a more, I don't want to say cell shaded, but it's different, and one of the best endings in the Trail series that makes you instantly want to play the next one. Luckily, we don't have to wait long. They just announced fall 2026 for the second one, but I love how what they've done with the entire game here. This is the definitive way to play what I think is the entry point to one of the best JRPG series.
Hey, you
I
know,
know, not your thing, not your thing.
no, no, but for you to have talked about this as glowingly and as much as you have, I think that it's a testament to say that, like, if you are into these kind of games, this is one you can't miss.
Yeah, certainly. If especially because people have always said, well, Trails is it's kind of like Yakuza. It's such a daunting series. There's so many entries. The fact that they're now like we remade the first one, like you can jump in now and play it modern with all the good features, fast travel, all these things that you expect to be here. There's really no excuse not to jump into Trails now if you are a JRPG fan.
Yep.
Let's move on to number 3. I see Kyle thought this would be number 2. You thought wrong.
This is where things get interesting.
Number 3, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Mm,
I am so happy we got a 3D Donkey Kong after years and years of me wanting a full 3D platformer. We finally got it. The game that convinced me to buy a Switch to. I sold so many things to afford a Switch to afford Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it was all worth it. A game that I put 40 plus hours into in basically 3 days. Like I was obsessed with this game. The not only is it just mindless fun, smashing, platforming, like they've added unique mechanics that you've never seen in a Donkey Kong game before. Sure, they've made him a little cuter and like kind of dumb. He was already a dumb monkey, but now he's especially dumb. But like Pauline and his relationship is so wholesome. It really like he cares about her, she cares about him. The whole story and journey they go on, the music is phenomenal. It's just it really is a beautiful tale if you are in here. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but fan service galore for Donkey Kong fans. All right. Fan service galore. I can't believe I never got sick of hearing, oh, banana. Like, I collected over 800 of these things and I said it every single time. Just maybe the game's a little too long. All right. I will admit that. But I was here for the entire 40 plus hour journey. I absolutely adore Donkey Kong Bonanza. I hope we don't have to wait another 20 years to get another 3D adventure with him.
You would assume not, right?
Uh,
Based on how well this game did.
yeah, I mean, it sold almost what 3.5 million copies in 2, 3 months or something. So
Yeah. And critical reception and everything being nominated for Game of the Year. Shout out to Carol, obviously. There she is.
yes.
Um, yeah, I mean, of all of the Switch 2 games, like if there was one that could convince me, it would currently be Bonanza.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that you just emphasized why that's the case. So yeah, I too am interested to see how hard do they push Donkey Kong because you know I'm sure that they can keep up Mario and Zelda and all of these things at the same time as a Donkey Kong ongoing franchise, but be interesting to see what they prioritize.
Yeah, I think what the if they keep this style, like if the next Donkey Kong game keeps these destruction mechanics, maybe introduces something else, these transformations, like it's distinct enough to live alongside a 3D Mario platformer. Like you don't need to pick and choose because I know the Odyssey team did this, right? Like
Mm,
I don't think you need to pick and choose. I think you can have a nice equilibrium, a nice relationship.
yeah, truly is Red Faction Gorilla.
Facts. You would think me starting every level by burrowing down to the as far as I could go and then just spending my entire time demolishing it would get old. It doesn't. It doesn't.
I know the feeling.
All right. Final two. What could it be? Number two, Split Fiction.
Uh,
I think this game kind of fell off for some people, like off their lists, and I'm not sure why. Because when I think back to it, it's still one of the most enjoyable experiences I had this year. I
mm,
think this improves on It Takes Two in every single way. I think the gameplay is better. I think the story's better. I think the characters are more likable. Certainly, they're flexing creative muscles here with not only the last level, which I think is one of the most creative ways to use co-op in a video game I've ever seen, but just some of the things like I have the pigs level here, obviously, which I think is hilarious. I have marshmallow the dentist level where you become teeth, and those are pictures Kyle and I took of just goofing around. So I had a blast with this game. I know some people were critical of Mio and Zoe and maybe the overall story, but like I don't I'm not going to a platformer for a deep story, right? Like I think this has a lot to say about AI stealing our artists' ideas and like there is a subtlety here, right? But like it at the end of the day, it's a fantastic co-op platformer. So it's right up my alley. I love this game.
yeah, I guess retroactively, I probably should have put Split Fiction as an honorable mention for me. I think there's no denying that it's fantastic. I can't even really place why. It just didn't really leave like a lasting impression on me. Like I had a good amount of fun in the moment, but it sort of as soon as I stopped playing it, I didn't think about it again.
Mm,
Um, so that's sort of why it didn't end up on my list because I think I could have otherwise made a pretty strong argument to at least be like on the lower end towards
hmm.
10 or 9, something like that. So
Yeah, maybe it has to do with who you play with, how
that's
your
true.
experience goes, and I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone, but like obviously you can play this if one person's struggling or if you're not having a good time. Like it can impact these co-op games, I should
Bree
say.
is canonically trash. So
Wow, wow, okay, but okay, wow. No, like I said, I love this game. I'm a day one for whatever Hazelight does next, certainly,
oh, for
because
sure,
they're
yeah.
gonna continue being this co-op studio. Like that's the type of game I want to support in the industry. That's why I'm all in on like that Orbitals game that we saw because it's a
Mhm.
haze like, right?
Yep.
All right. Number one,
What's it gonna be?
drum roll, please. What if it wasn't? What if it wasn't? You know, just
Psych.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33. No big surprise here, right? If you've listened to me talk at all this year, um, yo, Haze Slop is wild.
I
um,
don't know how I feel about that.
yeah, me either. Expedition 33, though, obviously you spoke at length about it, but I genuinely do think this is a masterpiece of a game, and I don't want to be I don't want to get into the negativity because I have seen so many people trying to discredit what the studio has done, uh, saying they don't deserve the accolades, that it's overrated, and people can feel how they want to feel, but it's the only game where I'm like I played through this game twice this year,
Mm,
and both times I had a phenomenal experience. I had a different experience by changing my party, by changing Pictos and Lumina. Like the build crafting alone
yep.
makes this combat so much fun to me. Just the unique ways you can play this game. Not to mention, like, yes, is parrying a unique mechanic in an RPG? No, it's not. Paper Mario did it. All right, we get it. All right. But I think it feels so good to do in this game. Like the feedback loop you get is so satisfying. Like sometimes I just want to put this game on and just go fight monsters because I just have fun with the combat. You mix in phenomenal voice acting from Jennifer English, Ben Starr, Gustav, everyone else in between as well. Like I don't want to name everyone with a fantastic, emotional, hard hitting story that for me hits every act. Like I personally think they nail the execution. I know a lot of people think act 3 maybe falls apart for them. I don't personally feel that way, but I man, I think this game is going to stick with me for a while. I do echo, I think you said, a generational game where if there's one game this console generation to pick out, Expedition 33 is certainly in that conversation for me.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to what I said. It's like people felt the way that they felt prior to it coming out for a reason. People have felt this whole year about it, like clear front runner for game of the year, and it being a thing that's shaking the industry, and how much that tends to be true, we'll see, I guess, as time
Mhm.
goes on. But like, as much as it wasn't technically my game of the year, I think that in terms of like monumental games, like impactful games, and sort of transformative games that have the greatest potential to have deeper meaning beyond itself for the industry at large. I think like it just doesn't get better than Expedition 33. So God knows what Sandfall do next.
I-
Good luck
I'm
to them.
I'm there for whatever. I want to support Sandfall. And this isn't to say Expedition 33 is a perfect game by any means,
No, no, no.
because I like my big critique of it is at the end of the day, it is kind of like a hallway simulator. It is a very
Mhm.
like there's no real dungeons, like there's no puzzles to solve throughout it. Like it's a very linear RPG, but I think that's fine with me. I don't think that detracts enough for me not to label this a masterpiece where I can go and you know what part of it is the environments are so beautiful. The music is so amazing that like I just don't care. Like I'm going through like oh it's a field. Maybe there's a picto over there, but like I'm just enjoying my time in this world that they've crafted. So yeah, certainly one I will go back to whether for this new update or to finally beat Simon or maybe just replay and experience again. But yeah, I'm so happy this came out this year. Undoubtedly my game of the year since it came out. Everyone go play Expedition 33 if you haven't.
Amen.
And that's my list. That is my top 10, everyone. So let us know how wrong we are in the comments down below. Let us know your game of the years. Kevin, check in tonight's show. Oh, I will. I will be watching the nerd chat. I assume that's what you're referring to, Nissa, because I know Dan over there has some takes for sure
I'm
about this
also
game.
sorry, Ron.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out Soy Prime. He let me know. He asked me if you were gonna hurt him, and I said, I don't know. I don't know.
And I have.
Nissa says Echoes at the End and Wander Stop are her game of the years.
Yeah, Wonder Stop. I wish I loved it more. I'm so into Davey reading stuff, and it had such promise, but it just didn't quite execute for me. But I've talked about that before. So
Yeah.
Echoes of the End, though.
It's on my wish list. I want to try it. Very interested. It's just a matter of money and time.
Amen.
All right, everyone. Well, that will wrap us up for the final final live episode of Shared Save of 2025. Reminder: we'll be back January 15th with our next live episode. We will have some Patreon content, a collab coming next week, and some maybe a video or two if I can get those out and ready and scheduled to publish. If you want to keep up with some Patreon content, we'll be dropping in the description of this video of this podcast. If you're listening on free feeds, you can click and claim a free 1 month subscription to our Patreon. No cost to you, just a free 1 month. Runs out December 31st, so get it while you can. Sam, thank you for a lovely 2025, my friend. Where can people find you until we return?
The same goes to you, my friend. It's been a pleasure. But this is looks like we're not going to talk to each other for the rest of the year.
That's
We
true.
are, of
We
course, but
we
just
we have
for the
to.
sake
We're
of
still recording things.
yeah, of course. I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm gonna miss you. People can find me anywhere and everywhere at Sammy Heaney.
You can find me at the Muffin Mon everywhere. It's an I instead of, or yeah, no wait, it's a 1 instead of an I, O instead of an A. My God, I mess it
It's
up.
been a long year.
Yeah, it's been a long year. Muffin Mon everywhere. You can follow us at Save the Game Media over on Blue Sky or at Save Game Media on Twitter. Stay up to date with all of our latest content. Until 2026, we will see you. Goodbye.